right? And I feel like that is the thing that is the most fraudulent of his entire persona. Asmongold does not represent gamers at all. Okay. And in fact, he is a sheepdog for the big corporations, right? Like he talks about like, oh, DEI in games, you know, blah, 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 blah. But actually, in reality, what he does is he helps these companies cover up for their mistakes and for their exploitation. And he redirects the anger that people have toward like selling unfinished products, microtransactions, crunch, you know, bad working conditions, predatory industry, addictive things like loot boxes. He turns all those kind of predatory behaviors and he sends it politically against the people that are the most in favor of preventing those kind of things. Right? He literally gets you to hate people like the CFPB, right? The Consumer Financial Protection Agency. He gets you to support people like Trump and Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon ruined World of Warcraft. Steve Bannon, I'll say that again, and this is, if you're a gamer and you didn't know this, I want you to understand this. Steve Bannon, who is Donald Trump's close political advisor, ruined World of Warcraft. How did he ruin World of Warcraft? You know the bots and the gold farmers? Steve Bannon did that. So now you have Asmongold, the so-called WoW guy, not playing classic hardcore, by the way. Scared he's gonna die. He literally created WoW bot farming, gold farming. Secondary, now the game is completely like, you can't just play the game anymore because now you have to be doing this kind of gray market buying gold bullshit, which then led to Blizzard adding gold buying into its fucking marketing strategy, because instead of defeating the gold farmers, they made gold farming and gold buying legal. And this is not some sort of like secret. I like how we have article limits now. I like that. That's cool. Give me another link of that, please.
We're gonna leave the greatest.
And like, this is the problem, guys. How much money do you think you're making? You're literally sending me the same. You're sending me the same paywalled links. Steve Bannon saw the monster power of angry gamers while farming gold in World of Warcraft. Literally, this is Asmongold's purpose. Asmongold's purpose is to betray gamers for billionaires. That's the entire purpose of Asmongold. Asmongold is to betray gamers, lie to them, propaganda, and at this point it's too late. Like, they've won on this. Like, you know, I could go out here and argue this all day, and you know what Asmongold will do? He'll just pivot and be like, yeah, I hate gold farming. Oh yeah, you're right, this is so bad. Oh, but then the moment when it comes to fighting the people that actually fuck up gaming, that actually fuck up the experience of playing games, that ruin it, that make it all about money, that take it away from the art, that put developers and writers under time crunches, he's there to back those corporations up when it matters, which is by supporting far-right politicians. Far-right politicians equals more power for corporations and the rich. Equals worse gaming. And instead of him going like, you know, guys, this the DEI shit and the pink washing and the trans messaging from gaming corporations, that was all a way of distracting, putting on a veneer of fake progressivism so that they could cover up for all their bad practices to exploit people. No. Asmongold doesn't do that. See, Asmongold doesn't give a fuck about gaming because he barely games at this point. Asmongold represents something. I said it in Hassan's chat yesterday, but basically, Like, that's it. And like when okay, sorry. I said this yesterday. I'm sorry, I was typing a title. Yesterday, basically, I explained that Asmongold represents a certain demographic of guy who, throughout his young adult life, spent a lot of time in gaming. All right, and that was their main hobby. And I don't know if you know this, chat, but if you spend all your time playing video games, it kind of isolates you from other human beings. Get mad at the people at the low rungs of the ladder while people up top rake in millions for pushing bad games, microtransactions, live service BS. Exactly. Well, the thing that Asmongold, Alyssa Bacrante, thank you for that message. The thing about people like Asmongold is he's a fraud. He's a complete fraud. Do you actually think gaming is bad because some transgender people were in the games or were working on the game? You think they have any power? Do you think Asmongold would have 45,000 viewers if they had power? The guy is spreading misinformation about the Holocaust and not getting banned because he's doing exactly what the powers that be want him to do. Exactly. And nobody cares about fascists. Nobody cares. People try to do this horseshoe theory thing where they go like, the far right is bad, but the far left is actually bad, also bad. And it's like, no, all of the powers that be want you to be far right. They love when you're far right. Capitalists adore the far right. And this is where like, you know, Asmongold is a conservative or fascist first and a gamer last. Because the people that he politically supports are those that are corrupting and destroying the thing that he says he cares about. As it also consequently has an entirely predictable ethos and ideology. He wasn't popular when he was younger, and now he milks it for all it's worth. I mean, he doesn't have any values other than getting in front of more people and getting more attention for himself. It's somewhat well known that Steve Bannon, before helping run Breitbart News and eventually joining the Trump campaign administration, had a checkered career in Hollywood. Less known is that he also helped a company raise millions of dollars for a gold mining venture, specifically mining gold in the online game World of Warcraft. Bloomberg Businessweek reporter Joshua Green's new book, Devil's Bargain, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, and the Story of the Presidency, details Bannon's involvement in a Hong Kong-based internet gaming entertainment, a company founded by Brock Pierce, a former child actor, disgraced media exec, and World of Warcraft obsessive. Pierce was one of the first to recognize that the willingness of World of Warcraft players to pay real money for in-world items and gold could be scaled up into an industry. Pierce employed poorly paid Chinese gold farmers who played in long rotating shifts, repeating rote tasks in the game to gain gold and rarer items. Those would then be sold with a significant markup to Western gamers willing to pay real-world dollars to avoid the grind of World of Warcraft. Bannon joined the company in 2007, having put together $60 million investment in IGE, with a large amount of that coming from Goldman Sachs. Do you understand that gold farming and all the shit that you hate about gaming comes directly from Donald Trump's closest ally and Goldman fucking Sachs? Do you see Asmongold talking to you about Goldman Sachs? Do you see Asmongold talking to you about the far right really being the cause of gaming sucking shit? But here's the thing. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't give a fuck about games. That's what you don't understand. Men like Asmongold used to be gamers. 20 years ago, they were gamers, okay? When they were young men and boys, they were gamers. They played games all day, and they have nothing but that hobby. They're nostalgic for the time when they were innocents, when they have nothing better to do but play video games. They didn't have any responsibilities. They didn't have the feeling of failure. They don't have the feeling of not being connected to the world around them. And so what do? They do what every pathetic fucking loser since the beginning of time has always done. which is blame someone weak. Why do you think there's so much more domestic violence than men beating up their bosses? How come there's so much more domestic violence than men beating up their bosses? Because the boss has power. And your spouse and your kids don't. So you punch down because you're a fucking coward. And that's all that Asmongold is. He punches down because he's a coward. Every single thing that makes gaming suck shit is people like Elon Musk. What is Elon Musk doing? He's buying gaming. He's buying his fucking account. He's boosting his fucking account for braggadocious rights. And what did fucking Asmongold do? He was a whiny little bitch ass coward about it. He barely talked about it. He did the bare minimum. But then he left it to the side. You don't think it's problematic that the richest man in the world is doing this shit? You don't think they're literally in gaming making it worse. And Asmongold is targeting artists and creatives. What the fuck are you doing, man? There is an Asmon clip calling those displaced by Hurricane Katrina animals that he wished Katrina did a better job from years ago. It also has to do with the meritocracy that games are built on and how gamers believe that could translate one-to-one in the real world when we all know that's BS. Well, first of all, gaming is like anything else. There's talent and there's time. The people that are the best at games are the ones that have the most supportive environment to get better at games. Which is upper middle class people whose parents pay for the top gaming setups and who can spend hours upon hours upon hours focusing on the game. Those are the people that are the best. Those are the backgrounds of the best gamers, is people that have the ability to sit there and play it for 15 hours, right? Like, this is, of course, that's how it goes. But if you've ever actually played a game like World of Warcraft, you understand that it's not built on, who gets the items first is not built on who does the best on the charts or whatever. It's who has the social wherewithal to control other people. That's the only thing Asmongold has ever shown any aptitude for.
Was a big problem. Now, I was in high school at the time that Hurricane Katrina happened, and a lot of the displaced people from Hurricane Katrina went to my high school, and they would all wear the same t-shirts, and they were fucking animals. Every single one of them. Honestly, the hurricane could have done a better job. I fucking hated them. And that's how I know about them. Was a big problem.
If I don't know where Asmongold lives, but if the hurricane had taken a slightly different path, we wouldn't have Asmongold. Like, if the hurricane had taken a slightly different path, we would have Asmongold, because he comes from a very poor family. And if his gaming computer had been destroyed in a disaster at that time, he wouldn't be around. Like, that's the thing that's really crazy to me. And this is something that I guess this is just separates me from people like Asmongold, is I look. Was he tanking in this fight? I was just looking for him on the damage meters. I don't see him. Is he tanking? He died on pole? He got carried? Not to dox myself, but my school almost doubled its size with kids from Katrina. They were the nicest people in the world. Yeah, he has damage roll DPS. I guess he got carried in this pool. I'm sorry. I was just looking at his gaming because like he talks a lot of shit about being a gamer, but he's not on the charts. Did he just die on pool? He could have changed his name in a Reddit add-on. Okay, I guess that's possible. He could be Avenger X. Ega. I don't know. I don't think so. There's 24 people in the. I mean, look, based on like again, I don't know this era of WoW, but it kind of looks like he died because he doesn't have buffs. Asmon was carried for a long ass time. The only thing he was doing was transmog competition where he was the ultimate voice and profile reviews just to shit on people. Wait, he doesn't have the political tag? Wait, Asmongold doesn't have the political tag? Is that true? Wow, that's really bullshit. You don't have the political tag, do you? Let's investigate this. Let's figure this out. Let's figure out, does Mike have the political tag? Intended for certain audiences, may contain politics and sensitive social issue. Manage your content preferences and settings. I think the thing that really think about people like Asmongold is you look at them and like if you're me, I want to actually fix shit. You know what I mean? Like it's disgusting that people in this country can live in filth and not get help. You know, like to me, that's a mistake. Like Asmongold himself is a problem, right? Like the idea that you could sit there in filth, sending vermin to your neighbors and no one ever intervenes, right? You being the cockroach nest and the rat nest and spreading vermin to all your neighbors, you know, and then nothing ever happens. That's a problem. Like, you should not be able to do that. Like, they should be showing up at your house. Animal control, pest control should be showing up to your house and solving the issue. When Bannon was found, was a world populated by millions of intense young men who have been socially maladroit, but were smart, focused, relatively wealthy, and highly motivated about issues that matter to them. And this is Asmongold working with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon spent $60 million ruining World of Warcraft, and Asmongold is right there to push men to help. What about his freedom to live in filth? I have a greater freedom not to have vermin go into my house from his house. Well, these were the same players who destroyed IGE's business model. Bannon saw something he could use. These guys, said Bannon, these rootless white males had monster power. It was pre-Reddit. And there you have it. Steve Bannon figured out that he could use people like Asmongold, and Asmongold is his willing dupe because he doesn't give a fuck about gaming. He doesn't give a shit about anything. Asmon is a sociopath during that very short period where you see like he may change somewhat for the better and said he'd travel for the first time ever and even visit Muslim nations to learn and expand his worldview. He turned around and said he'd go to Saudi Arabia for the money. Yeah. One of the most evil countries in the world. But they pay you. Just do propaganda for them. And this is like the real issue I have with people like Asmongold. If you want to just be a little fascist weasel, just be a little fascist weasel. Say that. What's really funny about Asmongold, does anybody look at Asmongold and say the white race is superior? Like, would that make sense? Like legitimately, like if you look at Asmongold and he were to say the white race, the Aryan race is superior to the other races. Look at me. I'm an Aryan Ubermensch. Would that make sense? So he can't do that. So he distracts you with absolute horseshit. They'll literally say yes because he's rich. No, they won't. Nobody thinks that Asmongold could have $1 trillion and nobody would be like, that's the genetic superior. I'm somewhat of a centrist. I don't agree with the Republicans and everything. Actually, and this is the thing that the thing that is the most pathetic about Asmongold is that he pretends not to be a Republican. Right? Like, that's the most pathetic thing that he does, is he pretends not to be a Republican. Not to be like being a coward about it. You know what I mean? Like, not to support Elon Musk and Donald Trump when he openly does. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Stop being such a little bitch about it. FYI, apparently NMP LOL is not streaming today because of OTK meetings, probably speaking about Asmon, given what Will Neff said recently about staying or not. I mean, I have always said that there is absolutely no, it makes no sense that OTK has people like Asmongold in it. Like, I understand why people think, oh, big viewer equals we bring them an org, that'll make our org big. And it's like, nah. Asmongold is not making, like, he's not doing anything that's going to boost other careers. He founded it. That's the only reason, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course. But if everybody leaves, then it is what it is. You can't control what the organization does. You can only control what you do. Make your own organization.
And I always want to do what I can to make sure they can hang on to their livelihoods. And so just know that we're trying to make changes to make it a better org. And you'll probably hear more about that in the future, the immediate future. And if we can't make it a better place, if we can't make it a happier, healthier place, then I'll have to reevaluate where I stand.
The thing is, people like Will have actual careers. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to create art and pitch and write scripts and write shows and act and do like actual art. And when you're associated with people that are just saying how the Arabs are an inferior race or whatever, or Hurricane Katrina didn't do enough, or whatever else shit. And by the way, like, you know, a lot of people, I don't know how else to put it. When you're low IQ, shocking things is the number one thing you look for in humor, right? Like, that's just, it is what it is. Let's just be honest. If you're not very bright, shocking things are very funny because you don't have the firepower up there to do more intelligent comedy. It's just like, I did the thing you're not supposed to do. And there's no coping about it. It's just what it is. You know, like, if you watch Tectone, you're low IQ. It's not like a complicated, debatable thing. You're just stupid. There's nothing to it. He had a partnership with the NFL for the Super Bowl or some shit. You can't be an org with Asmon's dumbass. I mean, guys, fascism is winning. 12 years ago, Asmon used a neo-Nazi mass murderer from Sweden as his WoW username. He's always been like this. Yeah, I know. I was one of those people who said it. I don't know if you guys have the clip, but people like actually, it may even be one of my top clips where people are yelling at me about how wrong I was. And I was just sitting back there going, you're booing me, but I'm right. Can't believe we're witnessing the rise of Nazism. Yeah. Well, what do you mean rise? It's been here. It's been here. And of course, the liberals are the ones who brought it in. People didn't want Donald Trump. I think this is something you guys need to understand. People did not want Donald Trump. Donald Trump was what they wanted was change. But our system doesn't allow change. That's it. Our system just doesn't allow change. So the people voted in Donald Trump because it seemed to piss off a lot of the hoity-toity, rich, annoying libs, and it doesn't. That's the thing that you fucked up. You voted for Donald Trump, but they don't, like, Democrats are not really worked up over it. You didn't get the libs. You got yourself. The libs don't give a shit. They're relaxed. Is Donald Trump arresting Hillary Clinton? Is Donald Trump doing anything to go after those Joe Biden? No. You didn't get the libs at all. You didn't do shit. Democrats on Twitter, every time Trump passes a new version of the "You All Will Suffer" Act.
Newsflash. That's unconstitutional.
I love the West Wing music in the background. Right-wingers conflate us leftists, freaking out with them, though it's all the same to them. Plus, they will all hallucinate it, even if it didn't happen. Oh, yeah, sure. To be a conservative, you have to just not really care that much about facts, right? Like, that's it. Like, Asmongold will look at this and he'll probably laugh. Like, if he were to see this clip where I was talking about how he just supports, he's actually the sheepdog for corporations. It isn't Sweet Baby Inc. or trans creators or whatever the fuck. If I were to just be like, no, actually, if he looked at this, he would probably just laugh and he'd be like, man, he got it right. Man, he got it right. Steve Bannon, man, he was really smart. He knew people would buy gold. He got it right. He got it. He's right. He was right about that. We are powerful. We are strong. That's what he would do. Like, he wouldn't be like, oh, damn, fuck. Because he doesn't care about anything. You have to understand this about Asmongold. When you try to make arguments to Asmongold, you're just wasting your time. They're not there to think. That's one of the most important things that will make you a far leftist. What makes someone far left? A far leftist is somebody who recognizes that there are just enemies in the world, that the world is divided in the have and the have-nots. Whose side are you on? That's what the left realizes. And the left is the people who are on the side of the worker, of the regular guy. And right-wingers are the people that are on the side of the rich and the powerful and the capitalists. That's it. That's all politics really is. Asmongold doesn't care about anyone but himself. I don't even think he would disagree with that. In fact, and this is like one of the main differences between me and Asmongold, is Asmongold thinks he would agree with probably everything I'm saying right now. Maybe he would disagree with the haves and the have-nots, because that, you know, maybe you can't admit that. We all know that's true, but you can't admit that, right? Asmongold would just think I'm a dope for caring about you guys. He would just be like, why do you care about any other people? Does it really affect you? You make a lot of money, Mike. Just sit back, enjoy your life, have fun. These people, they don't matter. Who cares if they get in pain? Who cares if they're hurting? Who cares if this world is fucked? Why do you care? Yeah, I saw about the Israeli shooting 2 other Israelis because he thought they were Arabs. So he doesn't, we know for a fact that Asmongold doesn't care about gaming. We know that Asmongold doesn't care about his fellow humans. What does Asmongold care about? What does Asmongold actually care about? And the answer is distracting himself from being alone with his own thoughts. We only know the shooter is a Zionist, not necessarily Israeli. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry. The 2 victims are like, this is anti-Semitism, death to Arabs. Wow. That's crazy. Asmongold is just looking for distractions to avoid him having to think about himself. That's why he avoids the shower. Like, the real reason why Asmongold avoids the shower is because, you know what happens when you're in the shower? You have to, like, sit there and you kind of think about yourself. You think about your life. You know, there's this kind of gentle background noise of the water hitting you in the shower and flowing through the pipes in the wall, and it creates this almost like white noise, and you just get left all alone with your thoughts, your place in the world, what you're planning on doing. Shower thoughts, you know what I mean. That's why Asmongold avoids the shower. He avoids the shower because he's avoiding the mental anguish of the shower thoughts that he would have. If Asmongold took a shower for a week, he wouldn't survive it because of the self-reflection and the pain and the unresolved shit that he hasn't ever thought about and gotten over. He couldn't handle a week of taking a shower. That's the reality. I wish I had this up. I wish I had this title up. Fuck when I did that. I mean, as a goal, shower, you know, phones are waterproof now. You can just take showers now. You can put distractions. You could play videos, you know, in the shower now, you know, put it up on the side of the wall. You're rich anyway, you know, you could buy a new one if it gets cooked. That's why being banned for 2 weeks finally broke his brain. Exactly. He was forced to... Mike, Panada exposed Ethan as a sex
Hello,
pest.
everyone. So for this final episode,
Oh yeah. Yeah. That video is really gross, man. Ethan Klein. Like again, like if you're an Ethan Klein viewer, it doesn't matter. Like you don't care about this shit. That's why a shit slinging contest with Asmongold or Ethan Klein, Hassan or I are always going to lose because they don't believe in anything and no one gives a shit about them. You know what I mean? Like nobody's looking up to Asmongold going, I respect Asmongold and I respect Ethan Klein and they are good teachers and leaders and I respect them. No one does that. No one respects them. Okay? They are apes. They are there to entertain. They're clowns. The people that watch them for entertainment purposes only. Okay, they don't think they're intelligent. They don't think that they're smart. They don't think they have good analysis. So of course, in a shit slinging competition, they're gonna win. Because anything they stick on me or Hassan might damage us because our audience is like watching us for our political analysis and thoughts and arguments and education, right? So the more shit slinging they do, the more damaging they are to us. We could say they've done a million quadrillion times worse, but they're not political people. They're not political channels. They're not trying to change the world. They're trying to make money. They're trying to get attention. That's it. There's nothing to it. I know about the vid before. Did you know that the Boston Marathon bombing victim he was sexualizing was 17 at the time? Honestly, bro, you're right. Of course I'm right. Like, of course I'm right. So what's the point of me saying all this? Well, because, like, Asmongold wants you to support Steve Bannon as he destroys World of Warcraft with $60 million investment in gold farming, along with Goldman Sachs. And occasionally, Asmongold will throw out some anti-capitalist rhetoric once in a while, but it's all... It's a smoke screen. It's bullshit. He doesn't actually believe it. There's a cottage industry of reacting and agreeing with them. There's a reason why his mental breakdowns only came from playing Dark Souls and classic WoW Phase 2. What? There's another clip of Ethan being weirder towards an 8-year-old. Again, I mean, I'm very much in favor of fighting fire with fire, right? Like, I'm very much in favor of fighting fire with fire. Ethan Klein wants to go through my entire career and Hassan's entire career to find anything he could take out of context or just spread narratives that are bullshit created by Destiny to try to, you know, embarrass us in front of as many people as possible. That's his main goal. He was literally having a mental breakdown because people were making fun of him for being bad at Dark Souls. Can you link me it? Ethan Klein Productions. I accept my role as #1 player hater. This 40-year-old man made his girlfriend take a thirst trap of him on Valentine's Day while keeping her a secret so he could fulfill the fantasies of his pathetic vapid obsessors while wearing non-prescription glasses in the tub. I would like you to understand something, chat. I would like you to understand something about this. Ethan Klein posts stuff like this because he's legitimately mentally ill and a fucking loser. It doesn't matter how much money he has. It doesn't matter any measurable thing. He is sitting there rock hard, psychosexually obsessed with Hassan, posting stuff like this. Bro, he posted this picture because it got 145,000 likes. That's it. This is what Instagram is for. Who gives a fuck? You're uncontrollably masturbating to Hassan. I think this is one of the things that happens with Hassan is it's ironically kind of what happens with AOC is because the people that don't like them are upset. They're like part of the reason why their obsession is so intense is because of a sexual frustration and an attachment. That's why you see so many posts like about AOC or Hassan that have like a sexual element to it, especially by the people that supposedly hate them the most. Destiny was to bang Hassan so bad, yes. Well, I mean, Destiny was to get banged by Hassan so bad. Like, Destiny was to serve Hassan. How dare Hassan not get canceled and go into hiding and stop posting stuff online after my content nuke? Stephen Epstein, sex pestity, Banel. Yeah, true. So Epstein went for the Nazi because the leftists have standards. I mean, that's part of what they hate the left for as well. Just to like finish this off so we can move on. Because honestly, this is boring content. Like they're boring. They're not really, there's nothing to them. Like the Nazi book burnings, right? Like Asmongold said, they didn't burn them because they were gay. They burned them because they're Jewish. They were Jewish language. So what is he trying to say? Like, so obviously he's dumb as fuck, right? But what was he trying to say? They were written in Jewish. Yeah, thank you. If you guys would have said it, what was he trying to communicate? What he was trying to say is that the Nazis were not motivated by hate. The Nazis were motivated by the desire to purify Germany of foreign influence. And so, therefore, burning books of Jewish language would be permissible. Why is it wrong to try to purge your country of foreign influence? That's basically what he was trying to say. That largely the Nazis were not unreasonable when they burned those books. Now, if that's not what he was trying to say, I would love to hear him explain it. Because he went and watched a clip from the Holocaust Museum where a historian said the Nazis used they burned books to, because they wanted to purge foreign influence. And he said, see? Now, if you're not brain dead, you understand that was all cockamamie bullshit. Do you understand that? That was cockamamie bullshit. There's no such thing. Like, Germanness is made up. Germany was less than 100 years old as a country when they had the Nazis, okay? Like, what do you mean Germanness? It's made up. Fascism is not based on any kind of coherence. It's a made up, and it's sometimes called romantic nationalism because it's made up mystical bullshit. There's no truth to the ideas of Nazism, okay? None. And the anti-Semitism of attacking, and to correct him, it was scholarly research on human sexuality that went against the social conservatism of conservative Germans. That's it. They wanted to destroy the discussion of these ideas. It had nothing to do with foreignness or Germanness. They just called everything foreign that they didn't like. I mean, obviously this is something that everyone who's not a dumb fuck understands, right?
So 4chan is right. You are a Jew. Well, we'll get to that.
My Jew brother. My Jew brother.
I do want to make one thing
Shalom.
abundantly clear. You will not find that on my early life Wikipedia part, okay? I'm German.
Oh, what the hell?
The opposite.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no, what the
So-
hell? Oh, what the hell? He's the enemy. He's the enemy.
Get-
He's the enemy. Not shalom, my brother.
That out of your fucking head.
Oh, what the hell?
That's not true.
What the fuck?
Okay?
What the fuck?
I'm sorry. It's not.
The Nazis also called leftism Judeo-Bolshevism. Judeo-Bolshevism. Was socialism and communism a Jewish plot? See, the Jewish bankers also wanted to have communism. It's nonsensical bullshit. And the nonsensical nature of it is useful. That's what makes fascism effective. Because fascism is just power pragmatism. If you want to understand what fascism actually is in politics, the point is they're not consistent. Nothing makes sense. It's all babble. You just say whatever you think the person wants to hear in the moment. There's no consistency. You make alliances and you break alliances purely for power and for convenience. None of that makes fucking sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. Early life is literally a Nazi. Early life Wikipedia section. Oh, he was Nazi dog whistling? Early life Wikipedia section is a section found in biographical entries on Wikipedia that describes events of a person's early life, such as their date and place of birth and their immediate family. Due to the information about a person's ethnic and religious background often being readily available in the early life section, it has been used to check whether a certain person is Jewish, often by those seeking to spread anti-Semitic sentiment. In the late 2010s, dog whistle memes referencing the section received spread online with the phrase early life being used to reference Jewish ethnicity. Also, the idea that let's talk about white privilege and systemic racism. Early life button. Also, the idea that German is the opposite of Jewish is just Nazism. That's just Nazism, by the way. Most German Jews were fully assimilated. It was the Nazi idea that there was some sort of separateness between Jewishness as a race, right? But that's invented. There is no such thing. It's invented. Asmongold would have marched my family into the trains himself. Oh, well, I mean, I don't think. I wonder what Asmongold would say. Asmongold, do you think he would have been a Nazi in Germany in 1933? Like, or 1945? Like, do you think he would have been a Nazi? Also, that's what German Reich looks like. That's the German, that's the German Uber race. And like, by the way, I also am a large part German. That's exactly the point, man. Nazism is laughably stupid. You know, I'm a Winston Churchill hater. I'm a Winston Churchill hater. I think Winston Churchill was a genocidal maniac. But there's one thing I should say. He had one speech. He had one speech where he explains what you're supposed to do with Nazism. All right? Let me see if I can explain it. I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see it. I want to show you the specific part. Just so you understand that this is Nazism was about this idea that Asmongold is spreading. That was basically it. Basically, the idea of if you want to understand Nazism was that the German race was superior to other races because it had more percentage of its blood was Aryan than other nations. And because their Aryan race was superior to the other races, they had the right to displace and destroy other races and exercise their will because of their might. And Germany, in order to make itself to dominate the world, it need to expand its physical living space, Lebensraum, living space, and they needed to displace the lesser races like Poles and Slavs, and that was the colonization. It was a colonization of Poland and the western part of the Soviet Union, right? That's what Germany wanted to do. Expand and get all German-speaking people underneath the remit of the German government, displace and exterminate lesser races, colonize to expand the number of people who are German with settlers, and then protect Germany from within by eliminating the Jewish race, which was hatching a conspiracy to destroy the Aryan superior race from within. There was a Jewish conspiracy to destroy the competitor races. So Jews were both inferior but also cunning in the sense that they were a lesser race, but they knew how to manipulate people to destroy the superior races. And they were trying to do race mixing. They were trying to basically target the Aryan race for destruction so that Jewishness, the Jewish race, would dominate the world. That is Nazism in a nutshell, right? We are better, so we have the right to displace the lesser, and we will protect ourselves by purging this insidious Jewish race from our institutions where it's corrupting them for its own advantage. And and its long-term plan to destroy the German race. That's it. That's Nazism. How many people really can explain that?